1, going into the Chicago Bears, 3-10. Philly here is a 9-point favorite, second highest of the weekend for all the matchups, and it's rightfully so. They're playing good football, they're scoring high football, and they're doing it now against good teams. They beat up on the Giants, they beat up on the Titans. Good teams, good matchups, and I think both of those teams are better than the Bears and should have put up a better fight than they did. So I think it's gonna be a rough go for the Bears. They need a lot to go right. The Bears defense just isn't doing enough for me. Even coming off a bye, trying to get people healthy. Justin Fields is still banged up on the injury report, so they didn't do enough in their bye week to get that team healthy. It's going to be the Eagles here. They scoring too many points, and the Bears, offensively, there's a chance they can put up some points. We've seen them put up a fight against Dallas there a few weeks ago, and they put up good points against New England Patriots. But overall, the Eagles are a good football team, and they're going to put the pressure on the Bears and take advantage of a weak defense.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Eagles 6-0 on the road this season. And they're, looking at the recent game footage, definitely just imposing their will on both sides of the ball, mainly offensively, and just making it really easy on their defense to kind of cruise and just get after the passer and pin their ears back. I think it's going to be a different kind of game, though. I still think the Eagles win. I'm taking the Eagles. Um, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Bears cover that spread and make it an 8 or a 7 point game. I don't feel like they're going to get much closer than that. But the reason why I feel that way is because twofold. It's going to be nasty up in Chicago too, no doubt about it. And winds can, I mean, it's the windy city that definitely can affect some of the passing game and stuff like that. So I think both teams are going to be running the ball a lot. Chicago, that's their bread and butter. Close to 200 yards per game on the season, especially after Fields really started hitting his stride. So I like this one to probably stay under the total. If it was better conditions, I would definitely ride with Eagles by probably more. But I think the conditions are going to keep this one a little tighter. I think Fields will be game for it. He's gotten a lot of practice at these type of situations. But at the end of the day, you're right. The defense for Chicago, it's going to be tough for them to muster up a 60 minutes worth of pressure and resistance against this Eagles offense. And, at the end of the day, this is the Eagles getting the dub. But I do feel like Fields is going to perform well. I think Chicago is going to put up one heck of a fight. Every team has little letdowns every now and then, and teams that maybe, on the surface look like they should roll over them. This might be one of those ones for the Eagles as well as they've been playing. We've seen KC, we've seen Dallas a couple of weeks, we've seen Buffalo have situations to where teams shouldn't be hanging with them and they're hanging with them. And I just think everything encompassed is going to be a different kind of attack that the Eagles are going to face from Chicago. But at the end of the day, they're going to be up for it. How about you, Ed?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Eagles here too. I mean, it's crazy not to think that Chicago has a chance. It'd be crazy to think that Chicago has a chance in this game. I mean, Fields has played. I'd say he's had a pretty good season this year, even though they've only won 3 games. I mean, I think he's played a lot better this season than he played last season. He's still chipped up. He's playing. He's definitely playing injured, but I just Eagles. It is. I mean, after you watch the Eagles run through everybody up until this point, 13, 14 games, 15 games, 14 games. I can't. I just the Eagles. It is, man. The Eagles. It is. They're playing really good right now. I would love to see them play the 49ers right now. That's what I want to see. Just up against that defense, see what this offense does. But I mean, they're playing lights out ball right now. C.J. Gardner goes down. They don't skip a beat. They what happens? Davis goes down. The rookie D tackle goes down out of Georgia. He gets hurt a couple months, right? They put him on IR. What do? They go sign 2 guys. They don't miss a beat. The team's well rounded. It's so hard to find a flaw. You got Hurts is playing out of his mind. It's tough right now. You got 1,000-yard back in Miles Sanders. You got almost 1,000-yard receiver in Devontae Smith. You got 1,000-yard receiver in AJ Brown. I mean, it's just like everywhere you look, it's like, who do we try and? Nobody has enough people to try and. I mean, you have to play man to man and stop everybody. I don't know that the Chicago Bears are are going to
They're
be
not
capable of
equipped for it.
doing something along these lines here, the man-to-man, or at least have a defensive front seven that's going to be able to penetrate to get in there and rough up, the comfortability of Jalen Hurts right now. That hasn't really been done this year, and that offensive line has been playing very well. So, again, like I said, the offensive line is playing well on both sides. On both sides of the ball, you got the Trent. It's tough. Chicago, they're going to go out there and play, though. I guarantee it. Philly. What do you say, Nick? I'm sure there's so much more you can read. So much more you can get them. So much more you can give the people.
Yeah, I mean you gotta take Philly, right?
Yeah, I don't want to, but
You would have to see a crazy career game from Justin Fields on the other end for them to win this. I think, which is possible. I mean, it's possible for him to take the top off. I agree with Charlie in a sense. It very well could be
in a sense,
where Justin Fields plays better than Hurts this game. Maybe not plays better, but has better numbers on the stat sheet. Considering that the Eagles just have that well-rounded team to be able to blanket Hurts and not have to do too much to win this game. I think that they're letting up too many points over in Chicago, and the Eagles are putting up a lot. So we're coming to town to handle business. 6-0 on the road, like Charlie was saying earlier.
30 points a game.
Yeah, almost 30 points a game. So you got to ride with Philly. I want to touch on a couple injuries. Dallas Goedert's 21-day practice window as of yesterday, so that's good news. Should be back in the next couple weeks, ready for the playoffs. C.J. Gardner-Johnson also going to be ready for the playoffs. Aaron Sipos, our punter, got hurt in the last game on some crazy blocked punt and ran. He picked it up and ran, and he hurt his foot, so he's going to be out. We had to sign a guy off free agency. Jack Stoll and Grant Caltera for the Eagles, tight ends, stepped in nicely. Didn't miss a beat there either. CJ going down, like Eddie said, didn't miss a beat there, but unfortunately Reed Blankenship did get hurt last week, who filled in and had a pick on Aaron Rodgers. He's down too, so we do have some guys filling in. We just re-signed Anthony Harris. I don't know if you guys saw that. Just picked him back up. Welcome back to Philly.
I don't follow the Eagles.
I always liked him. He fits the scheme nice. Just didn't do enough the last year to stay on the team. He was just a free agent though. So, but we'll see. Like the Philadelphia Eagles here in this one. Chicago Bears. Yeah.
It's tough. The Eagles are playing out of their mind right now.
There's
The Eagles are
big talent gaps. You've seen Fields have career days 3 or 4 times this year, and just look unstoppable. But at the end of the day, they're losing by 3 points. They're losing by a touchdown. And it's just because the rest of the team, the talent is just not up there. You can't be a one-man show. And right now, that's what Chicago is. It gives them a puncher's chance because they do have some pieces, but should be outclassed.
Roquan Smith, Robert Quinn still there. Is this defense, are we talking about a different team? Are we talking about more wins, you think?
A little bit. Nah. They weren't winning when they were
No,
there.
their linebackers having a better year than Roquan.
Yeah, Morrow has played good ball.
That's interesting.
Chicago's, for all this stuff, all these things that Fields has been going through, and Chicago.
Herbert going down.
They got a lot of money to spend come free agency. Justin Fields is gaining a lot of really good experience with having these close games and putting everything on his shoulders. And there's a lot of positives for the Bears to look at, even though the record at the end of the day is not great at all. But they've got the ability to build this team, I think, and pretty quickly.
As long as they make smart choices, there's
For sure.
the hard part should be done, which is having a quarterback who you should be able to count on. That's the hard part, really. Putting a team around him now should be the easy part. You got all that money, so long as you make smart choices. We'll see. You hired a defensive, head coach, and that's not the shine of your team. So it's a little suspect there. And you got rid of your 2 best defensive players. So we'll see going forward. They got a lot to improve.
Well, you look back 3 years ago, and although we only got 3 starts at the end of the year, or 2.5 starts at the end of the year, Jalen Hurts was in a similar situation to where there wasn't a lot of talent receiving wise and stuff around him when he took over the Eagles offense. And
Super
they went
Bowl
out
winners.
and they drafted well. They got Devonta Smith, and then the next year they added AJ Brown. They already had Dallas Goedert, of course, and Miles Sanders. But the team got healthier on the offensive line, and they added pieces on the defense, and all of a sudden Philly is sitting where they're sitting. I'm not saying the Bears are going to turn around here in a couple of years and go 14-1. This Eagles team has been special. That's not to take anything away from them, but you can see some parallels whenever I can when I look at the two situations here currently as they sit.
No, I agree. Well said. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, I mean, they even tried to get him a receiver there with Claypool.
Yeah.
I don't know how well
You got
that.
Mooney goes down. That was tough.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
But I remember when Hurts took over, wasn't it like Alshon Jefferson was his number one receiver at that point in
Wow,
time, Nick?
Alshon Jefferson.
Was I thought I was
What was
long
that,
gone by
Charlie?
then.
I said when
When-
Jalen Hurts first took over, first got his
Alshon
first
Jeffrey,
couple of
Nelson
starts
Aguilar,
there.
and Zach Ertz was still there too.
Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't studded.
Super
I mean,
Bowl-
there's still good
Super
players,
Bowl
don't get me
winners.
wrong, but
Super Bowl winners.
not
Put some respect
studded
on their
out.
names.
That was like 2 years removed.
That
Just
was
stop
a
it.
year before that.
You're fucking hanging
It was a
on.
year prior to him playing with them boys. They won the Super Bowl, 2018.
All right.